Welcome to the Ocean Community 50 Under 50 series, presented by the Ocean Community Chamber of Commerce. The road to success starts at Valenti family of auto dealerships, and visibility along the journey increases greatly with the help of 321 Media. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Ocean Community Chamber of Commerce's 50 Under 50 celebration, powered by Valenti family of dealerships and 321 Media. My name is Ben Barber from 321, and I am so excited for today's show because we have on a very deserving honoree. You know her, you love her. I'm very excited to talk to her. Lauren Sposato. Lauren, how are you?
Hi, Ben. I'm good. I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. Now, this is the uncomfortable part of the show where I read your bio to you.
Oh, okay.
All right. Are you excited for this?
I don't know about excited, but I'm ready.
All right. You're excited. Lauren Sposato is the Assistant Vice President and Associate Director of Marketing at Dime Bank in Norwich, Connecticut. A 2013 graduate of Eastern Connecticut State University, Lauren has spent over a decade working in marketing, communications, event planning, and social media across both the nonprofit and financial sectors. Lauren's career achievements include being named a new leader in banking by the Connecticut Bankers Association in 2022 and receiving the prestigious Key Award from the Ocean Community Chamber of Commerce for her contributions to the community. She also served as the moderator for the Steps Inc. I Am Empowered Luncheon and Fashion Show, a nonprofit that empowers young women to lead lives of confidence and integrity. In addition to her professional role, Lauren leads a new special project, Change Management, aimed at guiding Dime Bank employees through organizational transformations. She is deeply involved in various community initiatives, including volunteering with the Ashaway Free Library, Mystic Aquarium, Westerly 350th Committee, Ocean Community Chamber of Commerce, and the OC Young Professionals. Lauren's leadership and commitment to community and service were further recognized when she received the 2018 New Campaign Coordinator of the Year from United Way of Southeastern Connecticut. And this is a lot of stuff. And graduated from the 2023 CBA Aspire Leadership Academy. Outside of work, Lauren enjoys reading, trying new restaurants, hiking, and traveling with her husband, John Waldstein. She is also certified wedding officiant. Lauren, how many weddings have you done?
Just one, but I have another one this summer. And actually, I'm meeting with the couple who are friends of mine this evening to go over some questions and get some information to start putting the ceremony together.
That is
I'm
awesome.
excited. Yeah,
I have officiated a wedding. But it was in Connecticut, and you couldn't you couldn't just get like a universal church thing in Connecticut to do it. So they had to have a justice of the peace.
Oh.
So I did the entire ceremony.
Yeah.
And then at the very end, I went, and now, because there is absolutely no power vested in me by the state of Connecticut,
bring them in.
I literally said, this woman. and then a woman came over and went, I now pronounce you husband and wife. And I was like,
that's like the meme, like, thank you to this man.
Yes.
If you've seen that, this woman, thank you.
So that was, but anyway, that's fun. It's a really, it's an honor to be asked to officiate a wedding.
It really is. It's so special. And the conversations that, well, for me, I schedule interviews with the couple so that I can really, I've known both couples, but to get to know them, their relationship and their story on a really personal level. Yeah. And it's just really special. So
so both of my friends lived in New York City, and this is before the pandemic, but I used Zoom for stuff for work and for recording podcasts and stuff in 2018, 2019. So I had them do interviews with me, and I recorded their audio.
Ooh.
And then I was like, because it's the nature of what I do.
Yeah.
I was like, normally this is the part where I would rehash their love story, but instead I'm going to let them tell it themselves. And we played their audio, and I mixed it together and had them weave their own story. And so everybody listened to them telling their own
explain.
love story. It was
That is
very
awesome.
yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah, no, more people should ask me to officiate their weddings.
Right?
Anyway,
Ladies and
and
gentlemen,
you.
if you're listening, if you have a ring on your finger, you call Ben. Okay.
Or you call Lauren because she's an actual
Well, I
officiant.
can be the
Oh
person
my
who
God,
comes
ladies and gentlemen,
best of
because
both worlds.
there's no power vested in me by the state of Rhode Island.
Yeah.
I now present Lauren.
Exactly.
Oh,
Exactly.
All right, we're tag teaming.
Yeah,
this.
we're in business now. So
we're tag teaming this for sure. And also, if I ever get up the courage to get married, I will give you a call.
There you go.
I will.
There you go. If I renew my vows, I know who to call.
There we go. I constantly talk about how there are two types of people on 50 Under 50 for me personally, which is people that I know very well that walk in the door and I know them very well, and people that I have never met before they walk in the door. You and I have met each other in person, I think once. At the
business after hours.
At a business after hours at Babcock Smith House.
Yes.
And we got along great in that moment. And then we've had a couple like phone conversations and some texting and stuff, but you feel like an old friend.
It's so funny. I was just thinking that this morning. I was like, Ben's someone who I don't really know, but I feel like I know you really well.
Yeah.
Just from social media and being in the same kind of circle.
Yeah. It's nice.
Yeah.
So you're a mix of the two for 50 Under 50 for me for these interviews. So I'm excited. I did not know half of the things that were in your bio, and how could I? Because there's so many. So let's talk about some of them. First of all, how'd you get into marketing?
Well, as you mentioned, I went to Eastern Connecticut State University, and I started out studying business, and then I was like, this isn't really for me. I've always been more on the creative side. So then I kind of switched over to marketing and communications, and I was part of the TV club on campus, and I was just really into that. And it was a lot of fun. And then once I graduated, I was looking for a job. I wasn't having any luck, the age-old story. And then my path crossed with Lisa Kanicki, who was just here. I had applied for a job at the chamber, which my now husband had sent to me. And I was kind of feeling down because I wasn't getting a job. So I didn't apply. And then he kept following up. He's like, did you apply for that chamber job? I have a good feeling about it. And I was like, no, but because you have a good feeling, I'll send in my resume. So I sent my resume in. I met Lisa, didn't get the job, but Lisa said, you know what? And you know who did? My good friend, Maria DiMaggio. Which I just think everything in life works out the way it was supposed to. So Maria got the job, and I then came on as an intern. Lisa's like, I really think you have so much potential, but you don't have a ton of experience. So if you want to come on as my personal apprentice, 20 hours a week, whatever, and learn, I think you would get a lot out of it. I remember I went to my first day at the chamber, and I came home. I was talking to John, and he's like, how'd it go? And I said, I learned more today than in my entire college career. Like, she just put me right into doing things. I really got my feet wet, and I learned a lot. And so just, I guess, through all those various experiences, I just started honing in more on marketing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is really fantastic. When did you join Dime Bank?
2017.
Okay.
So after I interned at the chamber, I was there for about 6 to 8 months, and then I became the executive director of the Clinton, Connecticut Chamber of Commerce. So I went right.
Wait.
Yeah.
Okay. So in 6 months of interning with the chamber, you then went and got a job as an executive director of a chamber.
Yes. So I threw my resume out there. I was like, you know what? If I get called for an interview, it'll be a really great experience to do the interview, just to kind of, again, continue to have experiences.
I'm so sorry. 6 months ago, you didn't get the job as an assistant at the chamber.
Yes.
And then you got a job.
I will say this.
Okay. Yeah.
The Ocean Community Chamber is a much bigger chamber.
Sure.
So it is two different balls of wax.
Of course.
The Clinton Chamber of Commerce is amazing, and I'm so grateful for my time there. It's a smaller chamber.
Of course.
And there was it's a smaller staff. It's It's different.
But your growth in 6 months is
Yes.
that's the thing that's
I
funny to me.
truly learned everything I know from Lisa Kanicki and Maria DiMaggio.
Like when you say,
Yes.
I went home the first day and I was like, I learned more today than in 4 years of
Yes.
college. It's like, okay, that's a cute thing to say.
No, that's
but then you're like, and 6 months later, I'm the executive director of another chamber of commerce, and it doesn't matter the size of the other chamber
Yeah.
of commerce. You're the executive director of a
Yes.
chamber of commerce.
Yes.
At how old?
23. And the woman who had been there before me was there for 25 years.
Yeah.
So that was a transition.
That is super impressive.
And so that's why, like, I share that success with Lisa,
Yeah.
because without her, that would have never happened. So that's just as much her success as mine.
That's incredible. So
Yeah.
then how long were you at Clinton?
I was there for about 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I just needed, for me, I needed more structure. I needed a bigger team. I just needed something different. So that's when I moved over and started working at Dime Bank. And it's been 8 years, and I just absolutely love working there, and I love my team, and it's just been a really great experience.
So are you in Norwich every day?
So I'm hybrid.
Okay.
So I used to be in Norwich every day, and then when the pandemic happened, we split our teams up a little bit. So I started working from home. So now I do typically 2 days at home, 3 days in the office, or 3 days at home, 2 in the office, depending on what's going on.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, in that case, I mean, now I feel but I sent you a text about a place near Dime Bank, and I was like, let's be neighbors. But I was talking about Westerly, and we wouldn't have been neighbors at all.
Yeah, but
So,
you know what?
all right,
I would have
well-
come to visit.
Well, of course you should, because we're best friends now.
Yep.
So
Old friends.
Dime Bank is incredible. And we just started working with the Sea Unicorns.
Mhm.
And obviously Dime Bank is a huge sponsor of the Sea Unicorns.
Yep.
Now Dime Bank has become the halftime advertiser for Westerly and Stonington for 321, which we really appreciate. And you were very you had a very substantial role in that, so thank you very much for that. But you have grown. I mean, you're now assistant vice president and associate director of marketing at Dime Bank. How long have you been that position?
So when I first started at Dime Bank, my position was community relations and social media coordinator.
Okay.
So I came in, and it was a perfect transition from working at a chamber, because I was doing the community relations. So I went from being on the side of the chamber where you're asking for sponsorships and you're getting new members, to being on the other side, being like, we will sponsor your event, or we do want to become a member of your organization. And being on that other side of it was so awesome, and getting to then connect with folks who I was working with when I was interning at the chamber, but on the other end of things, like sending an email to Maria or Lisa being like, hey, we're going to sponsor the duck race. It was just so rewarding. And I was like, this is awesome. And just getting into social media and being creative was great. And I did that for about 1.5 years. And then the associate director of marketing position opened up, and I transitioned to that. And so I get to work now with our community relations person, with our graphic designer. So still doing a lot of the creative stuff from a different side, just more helping to manage what's going on. It's great.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love the commercials too, like the one that we play with NFA, with
Yeah.
the NFA band.
Mhm.
That's so cool.
Yeah. And that was a lot of fun to film. Those kids are incredible. They're professionals. They know when to turn it on, and they couldn't have been nicer, and just they were so happy to be part of it, and it was just an honor to work with them.
In a lot of ways, the fact that we're covering the Sea Unicorns now for the summer is because of Dime Bank, because I had a conversation with you and
Bob. Mhm.
So sorry, Bob. With you and Bob.
Yep.
And he mentioned, like, do you guys do anything with NFA?
Mhm.
And I was like, we don't, but we're always like, we always have the possibility of new schools.
Mhm.
And then Coach Sposato from Westerly called and was like, hey, we're doing a game against NFA at Dodd Stadium. Do you think you guys could go cover it? And I was like, I will call NFA today. As a matter of fact, I was just talking about NFA.
Yeah.
So I called the athletic director at NFA, and he was like, "Oh, you know Bob," and then
Yep.
and then they put me in touch with Lee from the Sea Unicorns, and then they were like, "Hey, do you want to have a partnership and grow in the Norwich area?" And then they wanted our audience in Westerly, Stonington, Mystic, Cheraho,
Mhm.
to help send people to Dodd Stadium.
Yep.
It's not far at all.
No,
Like
no, it
it's
takes me about 30 to 35 minutes to get to the office.
yeah,
It's
and
not bad.
and going to the games at Dodd Stadium is just
It's
so awesome.
it's
So
such a nice stadium, and I feel like a lot of people might not know it's there.
yeah,
And if you're listening, I encourage you to go to a game because it's a lot of fun. We've had our employee picnic at Dodd Stadium.
yep.
And it's a great place.
We're gonna have a 3-2-1 night there. As
Oh,
a matter of
nice.
fact, you'll be invited to that for
Perfect.
3-2-1 night at Dodd Stadium.
Let me know when.
Sometime in July.
Perfect.
Okay, so let's talk about your career achievements. New leader in banking, 2022. How'd
Mhm.
that feel?
Anytime your name gets put on an award, it's just kind of a weird, you're like, there's the imposter syndrome of like,
Sure.
do I belong in this group? And also just now the spotlight's on you, but always honored anytime my name's brought up for something. So it was just an honor, really, especially, this is the Connecticut Bankers Association. It's the entire state of Connecticut and there's a lot of banks in Connecticut and everyone's submitting folks from their bank. So to be chosen was a big honor.
Yeah, there are a lot of banks in Connecticut, and it's huge and definitely should not be understated. The Key Award.
Yes.
Lisa was just in here. We just did business over breakfast.
Mhm.
She was talking about the annual dinner and the Key Award.
Mhm.
I sort of, glossed over that as, of course, I know what the Key Award is because I'm a board member. I have no
Mhm.
idea what the Key Award is. What is the Key Award?
So the Key Award is given to a member of the community who has helped the chamber achieve its mission. And that, to me, like, you can put my name on any list. Getting the Key Award for me was truly like the biggest honor that I've had because I love the chamber. I would be nowhere without Lisa and Maria. Like, these women helped shape me as a professional. And so anything I can do to assist them is just something I'm honored to do and happy to do. So to be recognized as just part of the chamber family and just someone who's helped out was a big deal.
Well, it was well deserved. The I Am Empowered Luncheon and Fashion Show from Steps.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
So if you haven't heard of STEPS, it stands for Striving Towards Empowered Personal Success. And they work with young women in our communities to help shape their confidence and just get them prepared for the next step in life. And one of my old colleagues, Ornette Hines, reached out to me and said, "Hey, we're having this fashion show." I think she had saw that I had recently officiated a wedding. I enjoy public speaking. I've done TV when I was in college. So I think she just saw me as someone that is a good public speaker. They were looking for someone to host the fashion show and be a moderator because they had an incredible panel of women who were there to talk about being empowered and what does that look like and what does it mean to have that confidence. And these are successful women. And so they just needed someone to help moderate. And she asked me and I was like, oh my gosh, I would love to. So that was my first opportunity to do something more professionally on a public speaking type of level. And it was great. I loved it. It was a ton of fun working with the girls. So leading up to it, we got to meet the girls who were walking in the fashion show, who were part of the STEPS program, and getting to see them and their confidence build week over week as we practiced for the fashion show. And then seeing them the day of kind of in hair and makeup. And I do want to give a shout out to Chelsea Pacheco and Ocean Lombard, who did hair for that event, because it really helped the girls they put the outfit on, but then like see themselves in a different light. And it was really special.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
I think I'm the person that put those two people together. Hey,
there you go. It all
Ocean is one of our interns here.
I've been seeing
doing a fantastic job. She's also Miss Rhode Island's teen now. So
Yes.
she's, yeah, I
She
can't take credit for Ocean Lombard.
she
She
yeah.
is a force of nature.
Yeah, she's
Um,
incredible. I'm like, you're that girl. You
yeah,
really are. And like at such a young age, I cannot wait to see what she does
yeah,
because it's gonna be great.
she is fantastic. Um, what did you the 350th committee? That was a big deal.
That was honestly, it was about 2 years of like 1 year planning, 1 year executing. Honestly, and anyone who was on the committee will tell you, best 2 years of our life. Like we that committee was such a special group. We loved going to our meetings. We loved working on like all the details of what's going to happen for the 350. How are we going to honor this town and this community? And then looking back at like what happened during the 300th celebration, who was involved in that? There was the time capsule from the 300th that was unearthed. We put in new things. So what's going to go in that time capsule? The gala, and also getting to work with some of the elders in our community who are maybe part of the 300th or at least were there to celebrate, like Angie Smith, rest in peace. Mrs. Cugini was part of it. It was just really an honor to get to know these people who have been in this community for so many years, and they've been integral in making things happen, and just getting to see them in action was awesome.
The Ashaway Free Library.
Yes.
Tell me about your involvement over there.
Well,
Are you from Ashaway?
No, I'm from Westerly.
Okay.
However, I moved to Ashaway at the end of, I think it was, oh God, what year was it? End of 2021, beginning 2022.
Okay.
And
I love Ashaway.
It's such a charming village. And the library to me is kind of the shining light of the community. And so I was like, you know what? I live in Ashaway now. I want to do something here too. So I was talking to Maria, and she's like, Des, who also is another member of the chamber team. She runs the duck race. Yep. She's a member of the team. She's like, Des is actually on the board of the library. Do you want me to reach out to her and see if they're looking for anyone? I was like, yeah, that'd be great. And so next thing I knew, I'm on the board of the library, and what they do there. And I want to give a shout out to Heather Field, who's our librarian, what she puts together as far as different programs and author events. And she just puts so much care into everything she does. The summer reading program, she picks out like the perfect gifts for the students who finish their list. And it's just, I absolutely adore the library. And even our library here in Westerly, like the library is such an important part of any community.
Absolutely. Yeah. I grew up in walking distance from the Clark Memorial Library in Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
And that was so, but anyway, joking about being neighbors, I desperately would love to move to Ashaway. I was mentioning that the other day. So maybe.
Our paths are crossing in more than one way.
They for sure are. They for sure are.
Yeah.
I love it. The young professionals, which used to be the more active.
Yes.
But tell me about how that started.
So that was in, I believe, 2017. I had just started working at Dime, and Lisa reached out and she said, hey, we have some folks who are interested in restarting and re-energizing the Young Professionals Network. Would you want to be part of it? So I said, absolutely, say no more. This sounds great. And so we started meeting, and we had a really good thing going. Honestly, it was the pandemic that kind of slowed us down. But I have heard there's interest in restarting it again. But such a great thing. Anyone who was going to those events during that time is still a great connection for me. I know there were great connections made during those events. I think we had one couple that met that actually is married now.
Oh my God.
You never know who you're going to meet. And one thing I always would do, because I think networking people think is really easy. It's not for everyone. It doesn't come naturally, especially if you're a young professional and you're just getting into it. So it was a good opportunity for folks to learn how to network. And I would do different games. So one I would do is I'd write like different characters or like celebrities on a name tag, and I'd put it on people's back. And there were rules, like you could only ask one question per person. You could only ask yes or no questions. So you might say, is my character a female? And you would say yes or no. And then I'd go to another person. I'd say, is my character a reality star? And they'd say yes or no. And so by the end of the event, you've really talked to everyone, and whoever figured out their character or their celebrity first would win some type of prize. So we do little games like that just to help people get out of their shell a little bit and start talking.
I wish that I had gone to those, and by the time they come back, I will no longer qualify as a young professional.
Listen, we weren't checking IDs at the door, so you're.
I'm older than I look, I've been told. So, in 2018,
mm-hmm.
you were the new campaign coordinator of the year from United Way.
Mm-hmm.
What is that? United Way award is a big deal.
Yeah. So when I had first started at Dime,
should we give you an award? I'm going to give you. No. I'm going to make up an award to give you. I mean, technically, we're a part of the 50 under 50 award, but I'm going to make up a new award. Yeah.
But when I first started working at Dime, I was running our United Way campaign. So what that means is running a campaign internally for employees to have the opportunity to sign up to give back to the United Way. So generously, the bank offers what we call give a day, get a day. And so that's where you can get 1 or 2 extra days of vacation, totally optional, that you can sign up for. And instead of getting paid for those 1 or 2 days, the money you would have made for that day is a donation to the United Way from the bank.
Oh, nice.
So it's kind of a win-win. And so I went around with a representative from United Way to each of our departments, each of our branches, and did an internal campaign to get people excited about the program, to explain to them the benefits of the United Way and how really they're very transparent in helping folks in our community with anything from home heating assistance to hunger insecurity to really any mental health, anything you can think of, the United Way can help you with, or they can connect you with a resource who can help. And while I have this platform, I'm just going to just tell people, if you don't know about 211, that's something you just want to know about. It's a resource hotline that you can call if you yourself or somebody who is struggling. So just please remember 211.
Love it. You just reminded me that I'll tell you off air. Not a big deal. I just made a note, and I'm like, oh, you'll be excited about that, but I'll tell you about it off air. How did you meet John?
So we both went to Eastern, and our paths crossed a couple times, but then there was one night where I was leaving class. I overheard some people talking in the elevator, and they're like, oh, party at Waldo's tonight. They weren't talking to me. I just literally overheard them. And I was like, I don't know who Waldo is, but I'll figure it out. And so I started telling my friends, oh, there's this party tonight. And it was I figured out it's at this house that everyone called Schoolhouse. So I was like, oh, party at Schoolhouse tonight, And I remember someone texted me and they're like, what are you doing tonight? And I was like, oh, I'm going to Waldo's house. No idea who this Waldo character was, but I was like, I'm going. And so me and all my friends went, and John just literally came up to me, and we actually had a class together at the time, but again, I had no idea who he was. And he's like, hey, what's going on? He's like, I remember he's like, do you like cats? I was like, yeah, I love cats. And so next thing you know, we're talking, and we never stopped talking after that.
Aw.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
The animal, not the musical, right?
Correct.
Okay,
correct.
Good. Because
I do love a good musical. So.
Oh, I love a musical,
Yeah.
not that musical.
Yeah.
Not that musical. I had to watch that musical recently, and no, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so the rest is history.
Yeah.
How long have you guys been together now?
13 years.
That is a long time.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
And it's a long time at a young age, because you're still very young. Like,
yeah,
we met.
We met at 21. We had both just turned 21.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So not that I feel like there should have been any doubt, but knowing how humble you are, I'm sure that there was. Were you surprised when you were on 50 under 50?
Yeah, actually, I wasn't expecting it at all. I got an email and I was like, "Is this for me?" I was like, did this meant to be go to me? Just because the chamber has so generously honored me with the Key Award. I just wasn't expecting to be part of this. And it's absolutely an honor to be on this list. It's an incredible group of people.
Well, people keep nominating you for things, Lauren. Stop being amazing, and people will stop nominating you.
Geez.
You know?
But no, it's definitely an honor. I wasn't expecting it, but always, humble and grateful.
Well, good.
Yeah.
Good. You deserve it.
Thank you.
This has been such a fun interview. Like I said, it's a perfect blend of not knowing you very well, but being a friend.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've definitely gotten to know you enough. Not enough. I've gotten to know you enough. No, I've gotten to know you enough now, Lauren. No more.
You're cut off.
We're done. We're done. Just make sure that the advertising checks keep coming, and you and I are no longer having conversations.
Dime Bank, community banking lives here.
Yes, I do love. We mentioned earlier that we've never done an interview like this, and I'm like, we were supposed to at some point, and I don't remember why. And I just remembered. Dime Bank does such a great job with their business after hours when the chamber does the Dime Bank business after hours, that we were going to have an interview, me, you, and Maria.
Yep.
Like the morning before or 2 days before a Dime Bank business after hours, which is great because it's always free.
Yes.
The Dime Bank business after hours is always a free one because it's on
our dime.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And so anyway, we're like, okay, yeah, we'll do a little interview and we'll promote the business after hours. And then Maria calls me the morning that we're supposed to do it, and she's like, "We got to cancel." I'm like, "Why?" She's like, "It's already sold out." And so we have too many people coming.
Yeah, we were like, "Where is everyone going to park?" Like, we got to pull back on the promotion. Because we organize all of our business after hours using the same model. Like you said, number one, it's on our dime. Number two, whatever community we're in, we do a taste of that community. So we bring in customers who are also in the food and drink industry and bring them in so that they can showcase what they do. We have entertainment. Usually we'll have some type of performer. For this one in Westerly, we had Patrick Kirker perform, and we just try to make it a special night. And we use the teller line as our bar. So we, go and you make a withdrawal and you get your beverage from the bar. And it's always a special event. People have fun, and that's really all we want to see. Yeah.
And it was the first time that we've ever had an interview get canceled because the event was already too popular.
Yeah.
So that was
glad
great.
to be a first for you.
that was wonderful. And by the way, it's on our dime, right? I have to tell you, 85-year-old Ken Collins, who is just a national treasure, or at least a local treasure.
Yes.
He was so excited all spring to be able to throw in dime metaphors anytime he wanted to mention Dime Bank. He was like, I got a list of them today for commentary. And I think that because he's like, we gave him like an emeritus status where it was like, if you want to come in and do a game, anytime you want to do a game, just show up. And we're not going to put you on the schedule. Anytime you want to do a game, just show up.
At your convenience.
You're the legend. Whenever you want to show up, you can do a game. We have commentators, but you can just push one of the kids aside. And I swear, I think that making up puns about Dime Bank made him want to do more games this spring.
If that's what it takes, we're happy to be the catalyst for that. And we're lucky because there's a lot of things that rhyme with dime.
Yep.
It's a quick, short word, so it does make it easy. We have an employee event that we do every year, and my lifeblood is coming up with a theme for that event and tying in the name. So we did one that was based on the Academy Awards. We called it the Academy Awards. We did a music festival. We called it Dimapalooza. So like you name it, we try to incorporate the name in everything we do, and it makes it a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Lauren, you are a gem.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here. so well deserved.
Thank
Thank
you.
you everybody for being here. Thank you to Valenti Family of Dealerships and 321 Media. That feels weird to say thank you. And of course, thank you to the Ocean Community Chamber of Commerce. We'll see you guys next time on 50 Under 50. Bye for now.